So I've been seeing an oil leak with this 07 ZX6R for a little while now, but I've kind of just let it go. But now we got the front wheel tore off, wheel bearings, and we're waiting on front rotors and everything to get the race bike back up and going. So I figured it was a good time to dig into and try to figure out where all the oil pulling under the motor is coming from. I've got a suspicion that it is a valve cover gasket. If so, that's pretty simple. We're not going to replace it. We're just going to make it better. And because it didn't start until after I did some work to the valve cover. I had to take the cabs out. So I'm thinking I just didn't put it on right. And these things are pretty notorious for a valve cover leak. So luckily getting into these where we need to be really isn't that difficult. We're just going to remove the seat. And pretty much just pull these little bits of plastic trim out of our way. 2 bolts hold the actual seat down. This ain't your main fuel line. I think this is just evap something. I'm not, don't quote me on that though. I'm not entirely sure what this line does. If you're following along at home, these are 5mm. Let's go. Naturally, this is going to be the almighty 10mm. Shove a rag under. Really need 2 hands for this little thing. There we go. Get it down fully. So the reason we put it back, did you see those electrical connection under there? And if you trace it back, it is right here. And all you gotta do, of course, things of this nature are never simple. Okay, I think I actually had to pull up on the clip. Okay, so between this cut and that cut, I'm a little less sober, and we are to the airbox. So I don't remember exactly how these come off, but we're gonna start by, I hate this stuff, removing this sensor and unslotting this sensor from the side of it. Got another 5mm Allen. But all we're gonna do now is take and yank up on it, and that's gonna detach it from the throttle bodies. So from here, that hose is gonna pull off. Inspect it. It's got a little bit of dry rot starting, but I'm not worried about it yet. And there's a hose down here that a hose clamp is falling off of, which is good to know. And we can pull that off. And the only thing connecting it now is this wire assembly, this small vacuum line here. Okay, so now we're looking at the actual guts of her. I'm gonna remove this sensor. It's kind of like you're doing surgery. The deeper in you go. So I've got my spark plug caps labeled. If you don't, you probably should. They've actually rubbed off though. Go grab a Sharpie. Looking in here, I can tell that the spark plug well has a seal between here and there, and that's actually part of your valve cover gasket. So the valve cover gasket is off around this spark plug boot, and that's what's giving me my oil. Whew. What a pain. Okay, so it appears like this sensor rides on this. And this connection ain't really a sensor, actually. Making a bead off of it. So I don't know exactly why this didn't seal. Front does look wet though, Just lay this to the side. So here's what we're looking at on the top end. This is our cams, obviously. If you by some chance are following along on fixing a head gasket, yeah, don't touch anything in here. Yeah, if you don't know a little bit about it, stay clear of it. But you can see our little seal of RTV. I'm gonna go around the front of the motor, kind of see if I can see it dripping down. I see little specks of oil on the headers. I wonder if it's running down the headers and then making the pull there. Not sure. Whilst trying to pull off this gasket, it is ripping everywhere, so the gasket material is obviously dry rotted and bad, so that is going to need replacing. So I forgot to record nearly everything that I was going to record. So I'll just give you the update here. So the valve cover is put back on. We just painted it. The new gasket came in because I ripped the old one. Just laid it down on it. I didn't use any RTV or anything fancy. Bolted it back up and kind of did what it did in reverse and put it back together. Yeah, I know this video now sucks because I just completely forgot that I was making it and did all this crap. And the R1 is soaking wet. I need to go wash it again, so oh well. But yep, we're still rocking. Also, we got new front wheel bearings and these new sexy rotors because those are warped to fuck. So the track bike's coming along, boys. Crazy. Seen that smoke come, I expected that. We had some water in the intake. It was getting pulled through. It isn't. It's not good, but it's not maybe as bad as you would think.